This is the 360 Show, Season 6, Episode 4. Welcome. Plenty to discuss with regards to the cricketing world. Who is the best fielder out there? I would love to hear your thoughts. I will talk about it as well. The SA20 auction. A lot happened there in that auction, and we will be discussing that. Also, the IPL auction coming up. It is going to be very complicated, very exciting. Pretty difficult for all the franchises to balance things out. We will be discussing that. Pakistan playing England in the Test series. India going 1-0 up against Bangladesh in the T20s. And the Proteas winning that series against Ireland 2-1. Let's discuss all of that in this week's 360 Show. Let's go. Before we get into the swing of things, let's start with a 360 view. As you know, where I have 360 seconds to discuss the 6 main topics of the week, starting with the best fielder out there. Now, I've played a lot of cricket in my career, and I've played with some incredible fielders around the world. I'm thinking of guys like Ricky Ponting, Herschel Gibbs. I just missed John T. Rhodes, but he definitely would have been on the list, and he's still on the list, even though I didn't play with him. So many other great fielders out there. But Steve Smith talks about Ravi Jadeja, and I'm going to have to agree with him. He's quoted saying, "I get annoyed by Jadeja on the field just because he's a very good player. He always finds a way to get in the battle, whether it is scoring runs, taking wickets, or making something special happen in the field." And he touches on something incredibly important there. He finds a way to get into the battle. You call it anticipation, awareness, attention to detail, whatever you want to call it. That is what Ravi Jadeja does best. He's always in the heat of the battle, whether it's a sneaky run out, a great catch, a good stop just to keep the pressure on the batsman. That's what it's all about. So that's Steve Smith's pick, Ravi Jadeja. I'm not going to object against that. He is a wonderful player and fielder. My best fielder I ever played with is Herschel Gibbs, just purely through having the ability of doing something magical on the field. He would always turn the game on its head and just had this incredible ability to stay in the game, to stay in the battle. The ball seemed to always find him, and that's what I really loved about him, and that's what makes a really good fielder, always looking for work. That's what the best do. The SA20 auction picks, Reza Hendricks coming in at the most expensive player for that auction, 4.3 million rands. Richard Gleeson, close, well, not a close second. Half of that, almost 2.3. Evan Lewis as well there. And then we go under the million mark with Ackerman, Shama Joseph, and Dane Pitt. And there you can see the entire list going all the way down. Colin Ingram there, definitely a big discount. Only 175,000 rand. I know what this guy is capable of. Comes with a lot of experience. Great middle order batsman. And I can't wait to watch him perform in the SA20, the Betway SA20 that is. Why was Bavuma unsold? Big topic. It's making headline news around the country. For some reason, they just don't buy him at auctions. Some big players went unsold at the auction with few slots available as the teams look to strengthen up specific key areas. And Bavuma didn't come to mind for any other franchises. Also, Tony De Zorzi, left arm, left hand, opening bat. Joshua Little, big surprise to me, left armer from Ireland. He played in the IPL, very consistent performer for Ireland, and also at the IPL for the Gujarat Titans. Kamindo Mendes, I spoke about him in that last show. Very exciting left-hand player from Sri Lanka. Would have loved to see him perform here in South Africa, and also Nazim Shah. Lots of surprises there with the SA20 auction, but we'll see what the guys do with their wildcards coming really soon. So those are the top 5 picks for the unsold players at the Betway SA20. Quite surprising. Temba Bavuma once again going unsold. Big surprises there in the SA20. Shandar, Shan Masood scoring a big 100 as captain for Pakistan in that first test match against England and putting England under big pressure there in Multan. We'll see how Pakistan fare with the rest of this test match, but England certainly under a bit of pressure. And Ollie Pope, as captain, getting 11 DRS decisions wrong in a row. Absolutely incredible. And as Lachlan B says, they're hopeless. So yes, it's never easy to tour, especially over there in Pakistan. I've been to Multan, and it's not an easy place to play cricket, especially when you lose the toss and Pakistan start off with a bang like they did. And congrats to Shan Masood. Really off to a fly there as captain. See, Babar Azam didn't do too badly as well. We've got a lot of focus on him because we have had him on the show before, getting a 30 odd. And looking good to build on that for the rest of the season, hopefully. But we'll see the best of Babar again. Then India going up 1-0 in the T20 series against Bangladesh in Gwalior. It's a very good batting wicket, guys. And 127 from Bangladesh batting first was never ever going to be enough, especially not against the powerhouse batting lineup that India has at the moment. And talking about Hardik Pandya, I don't know who of you saw that incredible shot he played, very Viv Richards-like, the no-look little dab over the slip Gordon or the keeper, beating the third man and getting his boundary. Absolutely incredible, chewing on his gum, not looking at the ball, and sort of just keeping that incredible presence and aura and pose that only Hadik can pull off. Hardik Pandya, sorry, Hardia. That's maybe a new nickname for him, eh? Just insane skill there. 132 for 3, surpassing Bangladesh's 127 and winning in 11.5 overs. Absolute domination from India. Another topic there on this game, Mayank Yadav and Nitish Kumar will not be uncapped players anymore, so their franchises will be a little bit upset about that just prior to this big auction coming up. So they'll have to reshuffle their thinking and come up with a new game plan there with regards to these players. And Varun Chakravarti, it feels like a rebirth. He finds his way into the India squad. Very well deserved. He's a fantastic performer. He has been for quite some time at the IPL now. Very consistent. Gets a lot of wickets. Gets a lot of good batters out. And those are the kind of players you want in your bowling lineup. So congrats to him. It's good to see him in the Indian colours. Moving on to then the Proteas going up 2-1 against Ireland. Not a convincing win, guys. The T20 series didn't go well. The ODIs 2-1 against Ireland. You would expect more domination from the Proteas. But keeping in mind, it was a relatively young squad and maybe a great opportunity for the coaches and the selectors to see some of the young players perform and to get some experience under the belt. And as we see the up-and-coming games for the Proteas, tour of Bangladesh, that'll be the Test Series T20s versus India in November. Test matches at home against Sri Lanka. And hopefully South Africa will get some much-needed momentum going into those games. And up next for Ireland, nothing more currently scheduled for 2024. And that's the 360 view. Let's move on to the main topic, which will be the IPL auction. Alrighty then, the IPL auction. Today we're going to be covering the top 3 teams from last season, guys. Max 6 player retentions, the RTM, also maximum of 5 capped players, as you know, minimum 1, maximum 2 uncapped Indians. And the total budget for all the teams, 120 crores. We've gone through this schedule before with regards to the retentions. The first retention, 18 crores, second one, 14, third one, 11. But that's where it changes up. If you want to retain a 4th player, it jumps back to 18 crores. And the 5th player down to 14 crores. So very expensive 4th and 5th retention spots. Those are new rules, guys. And also the uncapped player that will be 4 crores cap there for the uncapped players. Very interesting. This will be very technical. Going into this new auction, it's going to be complicated. And the franchises will have to think on their feet. Yes, you will have game plans in place with regards to the players that you want to retain, new guys you want to get on board, capped players, uncapped players. It is a pretty complicated setup, and your homework needs to be done, and I'm pretty sure the guys will go through that. Let's go to the first team then, the champions of last season, Kolkata Knight Riders. Shreyas Iyer, captain. I cannot see him leaving the squad. They must retain him. Shreyas Iyer has been absolutely incredible. Another local guy that comes to mind, Rinku Singh. And then to consider for them, which will be very, very difficult, Mitchell Stark, Andre Russell and Sunil Narayan have been the furniture of this franchise, right? And purely because they won last season, I think they might take the chance to spend a bit more in the retentions to make sure they keep that brand, keep the flavor, keep the match-winners in that side. And possibly the uncapped player that they will get hold of is Ramandeep. So we'll see what happens there, guys. I personally believe if you win a tournament, you don't change a winning recipe. You take the knock. I've roughly done my math here. It'll be around 75 crores if you take all 5 retentions. Now, that is around 65% of the entire budget, which will put them under pressure for the rest of the team they will want to get a hold of. But I do feel that's where you can think on your feet. Rather get the furniture in place, the most important thing, in the lounge area, and then you can start with the plants and the pots and your TV screen and all the entertainment. So yes, some decisions to be made. I would keep a hold of as many players as possible, especially Stark, Russell, Narayan, Shreyas Iyer, and Rinke Singh, and also Ramandeep as an uncapped player. You do those 6 players, and then you think of the rest. Move on to the next team then, SRH. Yes, they made the final last season, but in my opinion, purely because of a lot of individual brilliance, and that usually is a bit of a red flag to me. I would like them to have performed better as a team and have played big moments better in that last season, where I feel they came up short in that regard. So something to think about for them. I think guys like Travis Head, Abhishek up the order, those two really carried them for most of the season. Heinrich Klaasen single-handedly won them a couple of games. Bhuvi Kumar with that incredible performances at the back end of the innings, that extra super over that he sort of saved SRH. I think little individual brilliances and performances that carried them all the way. Now, that is not something you can rely on. Look at RCB. For most of the years that I played there, it was individual standout performances that got them far in certain seasons. But when it really mattered, where they had to stick together as a team, they came up short. And same with SRH, I feel that'll definitely be something they have to revisit when they look at the squad. So likely retentions, Pat Cummins, Abhishek, Klaasen, and Head. Those are guys who really performed well. I would definitely say to consider Bhuvi as well, with that experienced head of his, the ability to perform under pressure. Definitely someone to look at as well. But if you keep a hold of all the names I just mentioned now, they're in the same position as KKR, having used up all their retentions. So they are definitely under a bit of pressure, and they have some thinking to do. Rest assured that they will keep the same flavor, but I think there are some players under pressure, and they need to find a way to play the big moments better and not just rely on individual brilliance. So let's see what they come up with. It will be an interesting one. Moving on then, guys. Guys have finished in 3rd place last season. Rajasthan Royals, one of my favorite teams. The men in pink, captained by Sanju Samson. They will have one incredible headache going into this auction, guys. They just have too much talent in the team. And I mean, it's all players where you look at them, you just go like, how do I leave them out? You can't retain the whole team. But they've got some really difficult decisions to make. What I enjoyed about this squad, they played really well together as a team. And I feel they're pretty close to winning that trophy, elusive trophy again, which they won in 2008. So to consider Hetmeyer, Shimron Hetmeyer, Ashwin, Bolt, Berger, and Zampa. I wouldn't go with Berger there, just purely because it'll be too expensive. I'd rather pick him up in the auction again. Guys who they must retain, there's no doubt about it. Yuzit Chahal, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Samson, and Ria Parag. Now, guys, I've already mentioned 9 names now that I feel need to be in the squad. It's really difficult. And what about a Josh Butler then? You see, they just have too many players. Trent Bold, the list goes on. It becomes really complicated for this team to get it right. Also, other capped considerations. Dhruv Jural, we know that he made his debut for India not long ago. Very experienced player. Calm head on his shoulders. Also, Avesh Khan, the very experienced bowler who performs well under pressure. Just too many players, guys, and really complicated for them. And according to Dan Weston, who covers all of these stuff and puts the squads together, he has worked with the Kings 11 before, getting their squad ready in the 2022 season. Very experienced campaigner with regards to names and players that might and might not get picked up at auctions. The link to his articles will be below, so go have a look at what he has to say. Notable players also that might get back into the auction if the auction doesn't go according to plan for RR will be guys like Hetmeyer, Robin Powell, Ravi Ashwin, Trent Bold, Nandre Berger, Prachit Krishna, Adam Zampa, Sandeep Sharma. Guys, these are all players who have won games for their franchises in the past on a consistent basis, and they might just find themselves in the auction again. So some other teams will be licking their lips going into this auction. It's going to be fascinating to see how this all unfolds. I love this. Alrighty, moving on then to the Women's World Cup. England women beating the South African women in SA's second game. Disappointing for South Africa, just not getting enough runs on the board, and the experienced campaigners from the England women's squad making light work of that. Also on AB Reacts, I shared a video with you guys on Instagram about me swinging next to a PGA Tour pro, Christian Besaidenout, good friend of mine. He's around 40th in the world at the moment, which doesn't sound great, but believe me, guys, to make the top 50 in the golfing world is no easy feat. So very interesting with this video. Notice how much faster I swing than him. And that doesn't mean in golf that you're going to get more power. The key in golf is to swing slowly back and just to really accelerate through the ball, similar to cricket. We see some guys float up with their bats, have that little bit of a delay, and then boom, a quick explosive action through the ball. So me being a very average amateur, you can see how rushed I am in my swing. Still not a bad swing. I think I don't have a bad swing. But the minute I put myself next to a PGA Tour pro, you see what kind of rhythm you actually need to have. So let's have a look at this video quickly, me swinging next to a PGA Tour pro. All right, and more in the comment section. As you guys know, Rishabh Pant, number 17, replied to my live show, and he said, big fan of you. And I said, right back at you, number 17. So very nice to see him on the live show. That happens on Saturdays, guys. And follow me on social media platforms to stay up to date with regards to the timing thereof. I try and keep it as consistent as possible. But remember, I am a father of 3, and these kids of mine are playing sports on Saturdays from early the morning. Sometimes it goes a bit later than what I would like it to, and therefore the time is sometimes a little bit flexible on Saturdays. Kindly go live again, please. Can't wait 2 whole months. Yes, I know. Vineet, I did go away for quite some time. It was the holiday season for my kids at school, so we did go away a little bit, but I did stay active on my social media platforms, also on the 360 show. I did keep posting, but I do enjoy the live sessions as well. So there was someone else here saying, is this YouTube channel really yours? Does it really belong to you? It certainly does. And stay up to date with me with regards to when I will be going live, guys. It will be happening on Saturdays. And as per usual, the 360 shows will go out on Wednesdays. Let's move on to the 360 quiz quickly before I shut it down for this week's 360 show. I shared the match fees I got for the first professional game I played. This was last week's question. How much was it in South African rands? It was more or less 5,000 Rand a month. And Vian Konda, you got it right. Congratulations. You are the winner of last week's 360 show. And moving on to this week's 360 quiz. Who is the best fielder I've ever played alongside as a teammate? I mentioned it in today's show, guys. So hopefully you had your eyes and your ears open. He was a fantastic fielder. He was the magic man in our squad. And it's none other than, I'm not going to tell you. You need to guess. Hopefully you will be the next winner. Guys, like the show. Also subscribe to the channel. Follow me in social media platforms. And stay up to date with the 360 show. I will be in touch shortly. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys on Saturday.